Hello, Yoga Hippie here today. I am making a video about my Vipassana experience. um, my name is Christina. I'll stutter through the beginning of this. And I've been living nomadically for about 5 years. And I'm currently seeing if I can make Gulfport, Florida, my home. It's been a rough start, but I had just talked about that in one of my videos. And anyway, I'm going to the drum circle in Treasure Island. I'm pretty excited about that. Anyway, it's hot. It's so hot here. So I just kind of have procrastinated. I don't know. But it's only, I guess, July and August that are smoldering hot. So, it's the middle of July now. So we're gonna get through this. But it's super humid out. And anyway, so what I wanted to share about, I've been wanting to share about this for a long time, actually. And whenever I went, I've been meditating, well, I guess on and off since I started practicing yoga. I was really not I wasn't a meditating person. I had never really meditated ever, and that was like 14 years ago when I started practicing yoga, a little bit over 14 years ago. Anyway, I really was just happy to be focusing as much as I could in yoga class, because it was like a moving meditation when we would link our breath and do this vinyasa type of yoga. And I didn't do vinyasa very much at the beginning of my yoga practice because it made me really scared because there was this crazy teacher at the studio that I went to that did all kinds of crazy things, like put her leg behind her head, and I had never seen anything like that. I was just like, whoa. And she did arm balances and just stuff that I was like, what? But anyway, it's so long ago, right? It was like 2004. No, 2007. Anyway, yeah, 2007. So I don't know when I started trying to meditate, but it was sometime in the first 5 years of practicing yoga. And I have ADHD, so when people come at me with the whole I can't practice yoga because I have ADD or ADHD, I just laugh, because really it's just the same as meditation. It's just a practice to help you focus more, and you would never say to a person who is going to lift weights, like nobody who's not muscular that wants to be muscular would say something like, well, I'm not muscular, I can't go to the gym or I can't lift weights because I'm not muscular. So, you don't have to be able to focus to meditate or to be flexible to practice yoga, because those are literally the gifts from those two practices, right? So if we practice yoga, we might be able to become more flexible in our body. Most likely we will, right? And then a lot of other things too, right? But if we meditate, we will probably be able to focus a whole lot more, right? And I'll talk a little bit more about meditation, I think more and more here, because it's really been helping me in my life. And I think it's a really good practice, and I'd like to start teaching it to people. And I want to start teaching it outside on hikes, but also without hikes. So what happened was I went and got a scholarship for Transcendental Meditation, and people call that TM for short. So that's what I'll probably call it. So I started practicing TM. They give you a mantra and they work with you over the course of a few days, and then they have this whole ceremony and they induct you into it, right? And it's a little controversial because it's so expensive, and I do think it's ridiculous that they charge so much, but I got a scholarship. I can't remember if that paid for a part or all of my thing. It was a really long time ago, right? So I started doing this where 20 minutes twice a day, say this mantra, and it's just a word that they give you. And they tell you that it doesn't mean anything, that they don't want your brain to associate a meaning with it, because that's the whole point of this mantra that you say. And you're not allowed to tell people, because then it lessens the power of your mantra. So, okay, I'll respect all of that. And I forget the man's name, Maharashi something. That's terrible, right? That's so terrible. I should find out the name of. I get all their names confused. It's terrible, right? It's not out of lack of trying to remember people's names, but it just doesn't seem to retain because I can't really pronounce their names, so I can't remember them. But anyway, he came over to share this gift of TM with the masses in the West, and a cute little old man that I really have a hard time understanding, but very wise. And anyway, so you say this mantra 20 minutes twice a day and was pretty miraculous. Like, I think when I first started meditating, I tried candle gazing and, a lot of different things, but it was so hard for me, to comprehend sitting down and trying to focus. That's just like a total foreign concept, right? I have a history of not focusing. Yeah, like since ever I can remember, I have been having a massive inability to focus. And then add to that, if you want, that I'm double Gemini, so I'm just really all over the place, right? I am freaking all over the place. I have the ADHD, so I'm hyperactive, which makes me chatty and unable to sit still at times. So I'm a rather fidgety person at times and also very chatty, which really plagues me. Anyway, and I'm also loud, and I'm loud just because whatever. Anyway, I'm on a total tangent. Side note, back to meditating. See, there was a classic example of me not focusing. There was some ADHD for you, lovelies. Okay, so I tried all these things, but I really had been told really good things about TM. So I went and I went to the training. And I started to do this. I quit smoking pot, and I did this meditation twice a day because they tell you to sign a thing where you can't have, you're not supposed to smoke. Advanced meditators will tell you, by the way, that marijuana use inhibits your ability to drop down into meditation. There's a lot of people who disagree with that, but I've met some really long-standing pot-loving people who have quit smoking weed after like 25 years of meditating. They finally realized that it did inhibit their meditation. But so I'm not sure what I think about that yet. But I do know that I quit during this time, and I did this meditation twice a day for 20 minutes, and it was pretty miraculous. It was a crazy experience, and man, I fell asleep a lot, and but I just kept doing it, and I went to the dentist, right? So I had been seeing the dentist, and I had waited 7 years, all this stuff. I had a tooth pulled out, and anyway, because I'm not a root canal person. Anyhow, so I was going to the dentist, and I'm a freak at the dentist, right? So, which is how I ended up having my tooth extraction. Anyway, so we were very used to this routine with me, right? And bring my earphones, play my music, and take deep breaths. And then it was just exhausting because I was at a school, because I couldn't afford the regular dentist. And so I would just sit there and get white knuckled and then relax and tell myself to relax, and then white knuckle it again, and then I'd be like, oh my God, relax, Christina. So like for 3 hours. And then I would usually have to take a break, like 3 breaks in the 3 hours. Like, I got to go to the bathroom. I just had to get out of the chair, right? I just couldn't do it. So I had been meditating about 43 days, and I came in there. I've been going in there every couple of weeks, and it had been about 2 weeks since I'd been in there. So I sat down in the chair, and he's like, okay, are you ready? And I'm like, yeah, I'm ready. And I've got everything set up, and I'm thinking to myself, why am I not nervous? Like, I don't feel nervous. Like, it was super bizarre. I'm thinking, it's got to be some weird thing from my meditating thing. And other people were commenting to me saying that, they had noticed that I was much more focused and much more calm and a little bit more quiet. And my yoga students were noticing. And anyway, it's pretty interesting what was happening. And I have another really fun story about this. So I might just break this up into 2 videos and tell my Vipassana story in another video, because that's a long story too. And I'm still talking about meditation in general and how I ended up doing Vipassana. So anyway, I did this. I went to the dentist, and at the very end, he was gonna call the professor over, and I was like, I'll go to the bathroom, and so he was like, wait, before you go to the bathroom, tell me what you're on. And I was like, no, dude, I'm not on anything. And he was like, no, seriously, like, you're not gonna be in trouble, dude. I'm not gonna like report you. He's like, but man, I gotta tell you that you're very different today. Like, what did you do different? What do you do? You probably took something. Did you get high? What happened? Like, no, I was sitting there thinking the same thing. Like, what is my deal? And I said, I actually quit smoking weed, and I started meditating twice a day with transcendental meditation. And that is it, dude. And I was wondering the same thing, like what was going on with me, because I was not expecting myself to be so calm, but I totally handled that whole experience. It was super weird, right? So he was just in disbelief. He was shaking his head. He was like, no way, man. So, like, I swear, man, that's exactly what's happened. So anyway, I went on about my life, and I wrote a little post on Facebook about it because it was pretty profound, and I was pretty impressed with all of it. And then I ran into a friend of mine, and my kids were gone, and I had been so diligent. I had never in my life done something twice a day for 20 minutes for 56 days in my entire life. I mean, even the gym, I would go like 6 days a week. Right? I don't know, man. Was really insane. So I go to visit my friend, and he's a riot, and I hadn't seen him in forever. And sometimes I would see my friends, that I hadn't seen. But anyway, we were having a conversation and just catching up about things. And he was like, what's your deal? And I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, you're different. And I was like, no, I'm not different. What are you talking? I'm fine. And he was like, yeah, no, something's different about you. So then we're continuing. I'm telling a story, and I'm all chatty telling the story because I hadn't seen him forever. And I'm just like, blah, 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 my story. And then all of a sudden he interrupts me again. He's staring into my eyes. He's like looking at my eyes back and forth. He's like, seriously, it's something inside you. What are you doing? What's your deal? I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, you're calm. It's like, and this guy's not woo-woo. He doesn't meditate. He's a total crazy, fun alcoholic. And sometimes probably not fun. But anyway, he's a total crazy person. He's not. And I say that in the most loving, affectionate way. But anyway, he's a friend of mine I've known a long time. So I don't know. I was like, whatever. And I'm like, I'm sitting here talking your ear off. He's like, I don't know, man. There's just something different. It's like in your eyes. It's like something that you wouldn't be able to tell, but I can tell. There's something about you that's different. And you have a calm, a baseline that's different, Christina. And I was like, I've been meditating. And he started to laugh at me. He was like, whatever, Christina. You mean Om? I'm like, yeah, motherfucker. I mean Om. Leave me alone. And he gave me a hard time. But so the sad news, and this is what happened and how I ended up doing Vipassana, is because I got off track, right? My kids were out of town. I got out of all of my little habits that I was in, and I quit meditating for like a week, right? Just like 5 days maybe. I didn't meditate. And then I was like, my kids came back, and I got right back into my routine. And also the other thing that it did for me was it removed all this, I keep having hot flashes. Like, let's have one right now while I'm filming this video where I just freak out. Start sweating profusely. This is great. Here's your old lady moment. This is what you do when you're 50 freaking one. You just sweat while you're sitting here for no reason. Anyway, it'll pass, and then I'll be like not hot. So, this menopause moment has been brought to you by. Okay, so I digress. But what I was going to say is that the other thing is that I would get massages every other week with my friend, and we would trade them. And I have a lot of tension in my shoulders usually, and really hard traps and my neck and all this stuff, right? And in the middle of this massage, she's like finishing up my massage, and she's like, girlfriend, and I had just been thinking the same thing. you don't have any tension in your shoulders anymore. What are you doing? I'm like, I'm freaking meditating. So there were a lot of benefits, right? All these great things were happening. It was totally changing my life. I was like excited to get up and meditate, and I was just like, I would look forward to it because it helped me with my pain in my body. I was having a lot of pain at that time in my body, and my God, you know, it was just really changing my life. And then I got off track that week, and when I got back on track, never the same. The tension in my shoulders came back slowly. You know, I just never felt the same. I never felt the same. And then so what happened was I was on a search, right? I was on this search to have that experience again with my meditation. And what I know about meditation is that that's the whole point of meditation, is to let go of expectations, right? To not have expectations about what your meditation is going to do for you or how your meditation goes. We're supposed to just be there and experience that and redirect our thoughts or our focus or our attention, not our thoughts, but redirect our focus and attention from our thoughts when we become aware of them back to whatever it is that we are focusing on. So after years of trying to do TM again, like 6 years, I just abandoned it. And I still hadn't abandoned it yet fully, but I decided to go to a meditation retreat after my kids graduated high school and I was done being a single mom. So I think I will just do another video where I talk about Vipassana and explain my experience with Vipassana. And that's what I'm practicing now. So I would like to say that meditation is a journey, and that it is been a very huge help to me. Mindfulness is what I'm doing these days. So I do some guided meditations sometimes. I didn't used to do those at all, except when I very first started meditating, and then I got away from those because somewhere in there I was like a TM meditation snob, you know. I was like, oh no, this is the way to meditate, whatever. Anyway, and then I met a whole new level of meditation snob at the Vipassana retreat, which is really entertaining, right? So I'll save that for another story. But they're all lovely people, and but I didn't know that you could be in your ego about meditation, but you can. People get all like, no, this is the best way to meditate, and whatever. So it's a total personal thing, right? And some days I want a guided one, and some days I'm good just sitting here following my breath, and some days I want to meditate on sounds that I hear in the room or whatever, right? So mindfulness is a really amazing practice, and that has been super helpful for me because it's helped me make a lot of better choices, and then also helped me with my sobriety, and it's helped me be present. It's helped me embrace really amazing things that are happening, right? It's a good thing to be mindful on any which way you can, even if it's just a couple of minutes a day that you start meditating. That's a good thing. So meditation lowers your blood pressure, lowers your response time, like helps you to be more calm and centered and grounded in your nervous system. It helps lower like so many things. Like you can Google it, what are the benefits of meditation, and then it's a really long list. And they've been studying TM for a long time. They have scientific data, and they teach TM in schools, and tons of celebrities do and advocate TM. I'm not saying it's a bad thing at all. I think it's amazing. I wish that I was not so like hung up on it, but I think that I just had to get away from it. Maybe one day I'll pick it back up again. But right now I'm just doing, I guess, mindfulness more or less, and some guided meditations. So, and the effects of meditation are accumulative. So the more you do it, the more your body will want you to do it, and the more the effects will be for you with your meditation practice. And you can't use this whole focus thing as a excuse, because I have ADD and ADHD or whatever, and I mean I'm like the most non-focused person in a lot of ways, but I guarantee you that I'm a more calm person than I used to be, and it's because of yoga and because of meditation and the effects of it being accumulative and Is it cumulative or accumulative? Words to look up. Anyway, so I wanted to share that with you. So I think I'm going to sign off, and then I'm just going to tell my story about my Vipassana experience, because it was a really amazing, life-changing experience. And I don't know, whenever I was going, I was really curious about Vipassana and what it was, and this retreat that I was going to be on, and how it goes. And it was hard to find people talking about it. I did find some videos, but so I decided I would do that. So that was 2017. It's been all this time that I have not made a video about it, right? I didn't even have a YouTube channel when I went. But anyway, I hope that you have a great day and that you will try meditating. And I think Jack Cornfield, he's a great a great person to access for meditation help. He's a wonderful meditation teacher. And also Insight Timer is a great app. I love that one. And you can buy their membership for like a year for $20. Also, Calm is a good one, and Headspace. Those are all apps for meditation. So hope that you will give it a whirl and report back, and maybe share how you meditate or what's helped you have equanimity about meditation and whatever. Let's have a conversation about meditating. I love it. Peace. Oh, and if you like this video, like it, and subscribe for more.